Welcome back. You're watching ET Inside. It's official now. India is in the midst of an industrial contraction. And the only way to get back on track is to get in more private sector investments and boost consumption. But high interest rates and inflation have taken a toll on consumption in urban and rural markets. Nikhil Sivadas tells you why the slowdown in rural demand is bad news for the Indian economy.
Life's been good these past 2 years for 48-year-old Shyam Sundar Pal from Joynagar district in West Bengal. His family's income of 6,000 rupees per month has more than doubled. And now he has access to several products and services like a mobile phone and even a TV set. But living is not that easy anymore.
Earlier I bought a house and TV. I had plans to buy a fridge and other household items, but my income has gone down now and things have become more expensive.
Shyam Sundar Pal is not alone. 70% of India's rural population, which accounts for 56% of India's income, 64% of its expenditure and 33% of its savings have a similar tale to tell. Rising prices have taken their toll on consumption. The problem in rural India is peculiar because the rise in prices has been accompanied by shrinking incomes, particularly on account of the farm loan waivers given in 2008. At that time, the government had waived off farm loans of about 60,000 crore rupees. That left several rural families with extra money which was used for consumption. But the benefits of the farm loan waiver have now come down.
All these farmers, etc., are having or existing on negative savings. And what we're saying is, okay, you had you had a 5,000 negative savings, and I do not want to take that negative savings. For real purposes, this person therefore doesn't have to pay back that 5,000 rupees. But that does not add to the person's income.
That in turn has taken a heavy toll on consumption across several sectors like FMCG, durables and automobiles and two-wheelers. Let's start with the FMCG sector. According to market research firm Nielsen, growth rates were lower than last year for products such as personal care products, packaged foods, hot beverages and contraceptives. On the other hand, growth rates for impulse food products, hair care and general purpose items remain the same. While over-the-counter pharma, baby care and household cleaning products grew faster than last year.
In a certain set of categories like personal care categories, we continue to see even further intensity of spends, and we see some tempering in categories like soaps and detergents where the inflation or cost inflation has been much higher.
If we are talking about a GDP growth which is now looking more like 7 to 7.5% and not 8.5 to 9%, that obviously is going to reduce people's disposable income.
Rural sales account for nearly 50% of the revenues of large FMCG companies. And rural consumption in several categories even exceeds urban consumption. So a slowdown in growth could have a significant impact on FMCG companies.
The growth rate has come down from 21% last year to just 17% this year. So there has been a 4% drop in the growth rate.
Indeed it is. But that's not to say that the picture is as rosy as it was a few months ago. That's because input costs have been spiraling out of control on account of a fall in the rupee. That in turn led to a rise in product prices. According to experts, in the past few months, Dabur, Colgate-Palmolive and Imami increased prices across products by 8%. HUL raised prices of detergents by 8%, while Marico raised prices of its Parachute hair oil brand by 30%. The rise in prices has made consumers downtrade, but products at sensitive price points remain untouched.
There would be some level of downtrading which may have happened in soaps, but that doesn't lead to a reduction in consumption.
Growth rate in rural economy has come down relative to, say, earlier quarters. So which means there is some strain which is going to come.
From FMCG to consumer goods. According to ASSOCHAM, India's rural consumer durables market grew at 30% last year and was likely to see a 40% growth in the current year. But that is far from happening because sales in popular segments such as refrigerators, air conditioners, washing machines, televisions and mobile handsets are down on account of lower disposable income.
If we were in the refrigerators or air conditioners or housing, then of course the slowdown would have an impact.
Yes, there are dips as we talk. There are definite economical jolts that we are experiencing. The consumers have taken a little backseat in terms of their spend patterns on the mobile.
This trend holds true for the automobile sector as well.
This year has been an exception where we have seen that even after post-harvest, there hasn't been a lot of sales in big ticket items, which is largely automobiles and consumer durables for rural economy. There hasn't been much sale, even post-harvest.
The slower pace of economic activity in the economy, all these are hurting the demand not only for Maruti but for the whole industry.
That's bad news, because the growth in the Indian economy has so far been consumption-led, and for long marketers have been betting on rural consumption to drive growth. With rural demand slowing down, the going for industry will only get tougher.
So where is the Indian economy in the global league tables? And did people call the India party too early? Noted author and economist Pranab Bardhan speaks on that and more after the short break. Don't go away.